Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rona Birnbaum from EPA's Climate Change Division. That's in the Office of Air and Radiation, and thank you so much for the invitation to be here today. I'm happy to be here. So let me just begin by maybe stating the obvious. The Clean Power Plan was a huge lift, and we'd like to thank everyone for their support and particularly for their constructive input. It all helped. It helped improve the final rule tremendously. So that's the first shout out to everyone who followed the process and who participated. So we all have to acknowledge that the effort was ultimately, we believe, worth the lift. Because climate change is one of the greatest challenges of our time, and it's already impacting our health, our environment, and is costing our economy big time. Climate-related disasters cost the U.S. economy more than $100 billion in 2012 alone, while by some estimates this year's drought in California could cost $2.7 billion and 18,000 jobs. In addition to the final Clean Power Plan for existing power plants, we have proposed a federal plan and model rules that demonstrate clear options for how states can implement the Clean Power Plan. The agency also finalized standards for new, modified, and reconstructed power plants. EPA expects the rules will be published in the Federal Register no later than mid to late October. But today I'm going to focus most of my remarks on the final Clean Power Plan. Climate change threatens human health and well-being in many ways, including impacts from decreased air quality, increased heat, more severe drought and extreme weather events, and illnesses transmitted by food, water, and insects. All of you are more familiar than me on that. This past summer, EPA released a report called Climate Change in the United States, Benefits of Global Action. What it does for the first time is it begins to take a look, impact sector by sector, at what the United States gains, the money we save, the landscapes we protect, the industries we preserve, the lives we save, if the world takes action on climate change versus a scenario if we don't. The benefits of global action are staggering and can avoid or substantially reduce many of the adverse impacts and costs of climate change in the US. And of course, if we fail to act, the reverse is also true. Exposure to extreme heat results in heat exhaustion, heat stroke, can exacerbate existing medical problems such as heart and lung disease. Without significant global action on climate change, EPA's analysis found that extremely hot days in the US is projected to more than triple by the end of the century, increasing extreme temperature, mortality, and other impacts. Climate change is also expected to worsen air pollution with significant public health impacts. Rising temperatures are projected to increase ozone formation in many densely populated areas, and increases in frequency and intensity of wildfires can contribute to particle pollution. This is associated with diminished lung function, increased hospital admissions, increased hospital room visits for asthma, increases in premature death. In 2013, approximately 75 million people lived in counties with air pollution levels higher than the health-based standards set by EPA. I'm going to take a moment and mention a report that hopefully many of you are familiar with. Perhaps you've read the draft, perhaps you've even submitted comments. The U.S. Global Change Research Program is preparing what's called a climate and health assessment. The report is being developed to enhance understanding and inform decisions about the growing threat of climate change to the health and the well-being of residents of the United States. It is part of the ongoing efforts of the USGCRP's Sustained National Climate Assessment process, and is called for under the President's Climate Action Plan. It draws from a large body of scientific peer-reviewed research. It's extensively reviewed by the public and by experts, including a committee of the National Academy of Sciences and the 13 federal agencies of the USGCRP. It is driven by a coordination effort of federal agencies that together make up what's called the Interagency Working Group, focused on climate change and human health, the Climate Change Human Health Work Group, fondly known as the CHIG. And there's actually, I think, a flyer on the back table about a little bit more about the CHIG. The still draft findings synthesize key contributions to the scientific knowledge that allows us to understand, project, and respond to future climate change health threats. Climate change and health issues covered in the report include temperature-related death and illness, air quality, extreme events, vector-borne disease, water-related illnesses, food safety, nutrition, distribution, mental health and well-being. And what it also strives to do is for each one of those issues, it attempts to frame each one in the context of the most vulnerable populations. And I know that issue has come up numerous times already today. The report is expected to be released by the USGCRP in the spring of 2016, so just a few months. And there's a URL at the bottom there if you want to get more information on that. President Obama has made climate action a national priority. 2 years ago, he announced the Climate Action Plan that committed the U.S. to cutting carbon pollution at home, preparing for the impacts of climate that we cannot avoid, and leading the world in our global climate fight. EPA has delivered on a critical piece of the puzzle by finalizing the Clean Power Plan on August 3rd of this year. Our plan will cut hundreds of millions of tons of carbon pollution from power plants, the largest source of carbon pollution in the U.S. The Clean Power Plan will make our economy stronger too. It will spur investment in new and existing energy infrastructure, creating good domestic jobs that will help reduce energy demand and construct and maintain a modern 21st clean energy economy that our kids would be proud of. Let me tell you a little bit more about the Clean Power Plan. First of all, the Clean Power Plan was shaped by unprecedented outreach, including hundreds of meetings and 4.3 million public comments received. What we heard helped shape our final rule, and we think the rule is better because of it. The transition to clean energy is happening faster than anticipated. This means carbon and air pollution are already decreasing, improving public health each and every year. The Clean Power Plan essentially rides that wave of clean energy that is happening across the country, providing more low and no carbon choices for our electricity needs at reasonable cost and helping American businesses and families use less energy to begin with, lowering bills and saving precious resources. When the Clean Power Plan is fully in place in 2030, carbon pollution from the power sector will be 32% below 2005 levels, securing progress and making sure the transition to clean energy continues. The transition to cleaner sources of energy, which is already happening, will better protect Americans from other harmful air pollution too. You've heard a little bit about this already this morning. By 2030, emissions of sulfur dioxide from power plants will be 90% lower compared to 2005 levels. Emissions of nitrogen oxides will be 72% lower. These reductions avoid thousands of premature deaths, asthma attacks in children, heart attacks, hospital admissions, and missed school and work days. If you're interested in more information in anything I'm saying, at the end I'm also going to provide a list of URL resources where you can turn and get lots more information on the Clean Power Plan, including detailed description and numbers regarding the benefits. The Clean Power Plan relies on a federal-state partnership to reduce carbon pollution from the largest sources, from power plants. Carrying out EPA's obligation under Section 111D of the Clean Air Act, the CPP sets carbon dioxide emission performance rates for affected power plants that reflect what we call the Best System of Emission Reduction, or BSER. EPA identified 3 building blocks as BSER and calculated performance rates for fossil fuel electric generating units and another for natural gas combined cycle units. The states have the ability to develop their own plans for electric generating units to achieve either the performance rates directly or the state goals with guidelines for the development, submittal, and implementation of those plans. As I just mentioned, EPA relied on 3 building blocks as the basis for the best system of emission reductions. That includes 1, an improved operational efficiency at power plants, essentially efficiencies at the plant themselves. 2, shifting generation from higher emitting EGUs to lower emitting natural gas power plants, and 3, shifting generation to clean energy renewable. Electricity moves across state lines in an interconnected grid. So utilities told us we should treat power plants consistently across the country. That's what we've done. Using uniform carbon standard pollution rates for similar types of power plants, we've set individual state goals based on where each state gets its energy. In short, a plant in Ohio is now treated the same as a plant in New Mexico. But just because the standards are uniform doesn't mean the plan is cookie cutter. It's flexible, it's customizable, and it puts states in the driver's seat to make their own decisions. Because states requested it, we also proposed a model rule they can adopt right away, one that's cost-effective and guarantees they meet EPA's requirements, and puts their power plants in a position to use interstate trading right away. But they don't have to use our plan. They can cut carbon pollution in whatever way makes the most sense to them. Here's what I mean. Utilities can improve efficiency, run cleaner plants more, shift towards cleaner fuels, or use renewables. States can take those reductions all the way to the plug through energy efficiency and trading programs within their state or with other states. Electricity, like pollution, moves seamlessly across state lines. Trading opens interstate pollution control to utilities that already operate in interstate energy markets. It's a familiar, successful tool that utilities use for decades. Trading lets states turn the reductions into savings for consumers. And we all know the cheapest energy to generate is the energy we never needed in the first place. So energy efficiency remains an important part of the solution, as well as a variety of other reduction opportunities, such as those listed here. We made sure utilities have plenty of time to phase in technology that cut carbon pollution. Our plan gives them several years more to take pollution into account with the investments they're already making and shift to a low-carbon future. States and utilities told us they needed more time that the proposal gave them, and we listened. That's why the final rule required pollution reductions don't kick in until 2022. That's a two-year extension. We also provided a glide path to the final goal in 2030, 15 years from now. To encourage states to stay ahead of the curve and not delay planned investments or delay the startup of programs that need time to pay off, we're creating a clean energy incentive program that will help states transition to clean energy faster. It's a voluntary matching fund program states can use to incentivize early investment in zero-emitting wind or solar power projects, as well as demand-side energy projects in low-income communities. CPP is an incredible economic opportunity. It propels progress already underway. Some critics will tell you it can't be done. They say we have to focus on the economy at the expense of the environment and perhaps at the expense of the health of Americans. They'll tell you EPA's plan will turn the lights off or send utility bills through the roof. But we believe they're wrong. EPA would never accept a scenario where affordability or reliability came into question. EPA has proved again and again over the last 40 years that we've cut air pollution 70% while the economy has tripled. And in the nearly 45-year history of the Clean Air Act, power utilities' compliance with pollution standards has never resulted in a blackout. We're confident we can do this with the ingenuity and hard work of Americans and American business. And here are just some of the available resources. Finally, speaking of available resources, this is the last slide, I just wanted to flag the report I mentioned earlier in my talk, The Benefits of Global Action. Another report we issue is called Climate Change Indicators in the United States. It also includes several health-focused indicators. And finally, just in closing, EPA is taking serious action to fight climate change, and we're hoping you can keep the momentum going. Continue your discussions with others about the consequences of failing to act on climate and the importance of policies like the Clean Power Plan that address it directly. Let's stay committed to science and the facts and to a healthier, more sustainable future. Thank you for having me.